Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FMLFPL. Okay! Welcome to FMLFPL Milan.
This Walsh.
We got a fucking buzzing Giants fan Walsh on the pod right
God.
here.
What a day to be alive. This whole week is just such scenic, incredible. Everything tastes better. Everything smells better. Everything feels better.
NFL playoffs, baby.
NFL playoffs,
fucking
baby.
Good. So fucking good.
How are you doing over there?
I'm good, man. Good. Staying busy, watching a lot of football.
All kinds. Both kinds.
Both kinds, yeah. Too much sports. But doing good. Very eventful FPL week, but I mean both of us are, a lot of guys left to go, so we'll see how that goes. Both of us on triple cap Holland and yada yada yada. So there's a lot of action to go over. Well, let's just do that. Let's check out some teams here.
Sounds good.
How do I do this again? Oh yeah.
So how'd your bench boost go?
I wish I fucking bench boosted. Holy shit.
Look at this team.
Look at this team.
Let's go. Look at this team. It's just a bunch of guys.
That number might say 35, but you're actually on 39. So that's huge.
How is that the case?
Well, Ward's going to come in for Ortega, and Andreas is going to come in for Solanke.
Right. Wow.
You're
flying. When you put it that way.
Yeah, you're actually flying.
I can't see the ground. I'm so high.
What's the game plan moving forward for Team Walsh?
Watch the Giants on Sunday.
Yeah, there we go.
That's the game plan.
There's
no game plan. I'm just fucking doing it.
Yeah, so I didn't know if you were shooting the moon or you had something else in store. Or
I'm vibing. I'm just vibing, baby.
Yeah.
I was thinking more about Solanke since we potted, and I kept thinking about how we always talked about Pookie and Solanke kind of like as the same thing. And then I was like, I gotta not get rid of him. But then he's hurt.
It's like he is bad, but he will also be value. I think both of those are true. I guess the issue for him specifically is that, there's a lot of really good cheap guys right now.
Well, he's definitively not value when he's not playing, when he's injured. So
yes, also not in the squad is bad for him. But it's like, usually 5-5 starting 90 every week forward on pens is good, but this season, there's like a bunch of 5-5 sub mids that you'd just rather start than him every week. So that's like an issue for him.
Yeah, for sure. But, so we got your team up. How are you doing over there?
Yeah, I threw my team up. I'm on 52 when you account for the hits. I brought in Kane and Matoma, hit them in for a couple zeros. Little did I know that, Bueno and his stupid would be double barrel sixes on my bench. But, I wouldn't have played them anyway. I have so many guys left. I mean, I mentioned we both are on Holland triple cap. I also have Ederson, Kev, Bruno, Rashford, Shaw, Kane to play their doubles.
Yeah.
So
7.
Yeah, I'm already up 30K, but like I can't really imagine not going up more. I definitely have more than like the average person probably.
Yeah.
So
and Pereira coming in for the auto sub for Mitrovic.
Yeah, I wish.
So yeah, you got Botman in this week, right?
I got Botman in this week. Yeah. So the double cleans are there.
Botmania.
A lot of people talking about Ben Urfy in our Discord and his triple up and Newcastle at the back, just getting fucking 1 million points every week. So maybe that'll be a thing soon.
Yeah, I mean, we both have 2 now. I mean, it's certainly, most people do have 2 at this point.
I think so.
It just seems like it's, with all the doubles, it's kind of, clouding people's like judgments of who's actually the best picks and getting the ones that have 2 games, right? But it's certainly very obvious that, all 4 of the Newcastle defenders are better than any other defenders in the game.
Yeah. And they're cheap. And, except Trips, they're cheap. And I don't give a shit about not having any Newcastle attackers, which like usually isn't the case when we're talking about the best defense, right? Because usually the best defense is City or Liverpool. And then you're like, oh, well, I have 1 or 2 attackers, 1 or 2 defenders, With Newcastle, it's like, just get get 3 trips and 2 cheap guys, and you're like just good to go on defense. You don't have to worry about anything. So
yeah. I mean, Burn. I got Burn, and that was did a good thing.
Actual great move.
And Dean, I love that. That was
Dean
incredible.
Injured
watching him go
immediately.
off like this, and I was like, "I fucking died, piece of shit."
Yeah, you're just like you're not going for OR. I feel like you're just going for little wins. Like you just want like little victories all over the place, and that was a great
having Dan
one.
Burn is fun. Yeah, having Dan Burn is fun.
9-point Dan Burn in for injured Dean before it happens. Forget about it. Huge move. It's great. Huge gain.
Yeah, we hold Barnes. Hodl.
Barnes forever. Is a tragic thing for you this week.
This week? Are you kidding me? He literally went goal, blank, goal, break. I get him. Blank, 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 blank. It's like, what? Who is this player? Where's the other one?
Specifically, he got like big chances and was fucking them.
But that's, again, if there was a thing to mark, what you're fucking up in the game, his bonus points, his BPS since the break was 4, -5, -1, -4.
I mean, that's my kind of player, to be honest. That's like the kind of player I love in the game. You know that's true. Like, I love that.
I know. But like, that's what he's up to. Oh my God. Fucking Smashly Barnes.
Bonus points are just such a meme at this point, but I was looking through the games just like refresh my memory, and it's like, Isak really split Max Bones in that game. Like he subs on for 10 minutes and gets a tap in header, and that's just how strikers are in the game. If they get a tap in on the 88th minute, it's like
when it's that low. I mean, he scored a big chance and scored the goal. Like he got it. Like whatever. That's
the game match winning goal.
Yeah, so it's through the 2 actions plus the bone. It's fucking stupid. But the whole game is fucking stupid. I mean, with the Saka thing,
dude. The Saka thing was. Even fucking what's his name? Mark was mad about the soccer thing. So that Towers are getting a rocket up their ass if Fantasy Football Scout CEO Incorporated Mark is not happy about it. And the thing they tweeted was like, after further review, like the ball took a like major deflection off of who was it? It was Sessegnon or something. Major deflection off of Sessegnon. And therefore, like, no assist rewarded. And it was just like, well, then, obviously, if it was that major, it should be Sessegnon's own goal, not Lloris's own goal. But turns out it wasn't that major.
Yeah.
It's just like the stupidest
thing. I feel like it's in the Mitrovic penalty, it's like every week there's some shit that I'm just like, I don't care about any of this.
I know.
Legislating and like talking about like, well, it's this, it should be this, it should be. It's like, holy fuck.
What about the Bruno goal? And that's not even an FPL thing. That's just like a fucking real life big match, great game thing, and that happens, and that like decides the tempo of the game from there on. And the fucking Tony pen, give me a break. Like all it took was one replay, and you're like, oh, that's not a pen, and they just are like, yep, pen given, good call.
Easy pen. Yeah. Tony must have like 8 pens this season, by the way. I don't know what's going on with that, but they have to lead the league in pens.
Have so many fucking pens,
and Fulham needs to be exposed.
Fulham are. I have words for Fulham, but no league updates this week because we're in the middle of a fucking week, so we'll get there. Also, people who won the mug in December, respond to your email so I can send you a mug because it's kind of annoying just sitting in the email. Thank you for that. Where shall we begin?
Well, you said you have words about Fulham. I don't want to leave me and all of our dozens of listeners. Oh my God,
they're just the luckiest fucking team I've ever seen. Obviously this week maybe is the wrong week to call them lucky when Mitrovic kicks an actual penalty into his own foot and fucks it. But like, they have.
How can they be lucky when they miss all the pens they get? Isn't that definition?
They win 7 pens, so that is the luck part. And sometimes Mitro doesn't take them. He'll probably stop taking them full stop, because he's so bad at them. They've also had 5 red cards against them. No teams had more than 1.
Okay, I understand those 2 things in vacuums, but I do feel like they make their own luck to an extent because they are full tilt. No, okay, but they don't sit back. They're fucking going nuts all game, every game, right? They're pressuring, they're pushing men forward. They have extra guys. So, it makes sense that they would have, a higher number of those types of things occurring. The red card, sure. That's something that's a little bit difficult to.
I mean, I hear you, and I get the argument, but at the same time, it's like, if that's true, then there's a whole long list of other teams that should have as many pens or as many red cards, who dribble more and have better players in the box more. It's like, but
so Fulham are the Vikings.
Yeah, Fulham are the Vikings. They're going to get exposed next year because there's no playoffs in fucking Premier League. But Jesus Christ, every week it's just like.
So I mean, I think though, talking about this further with FPL in mind, it would be truly shocking to see Mitrovic take the next pen. I mean, Holg probably start every week right now because we have to give him pens, right? We have to at this point.
I mean, only a man as crazy as Milva would deny that.
Yeah, I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting, especially in context of what we talked about earlier, which is like, there's so many good cheap mids. So people are like thinking about, is Pereira even the pick anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, Tim's question was, with so many good mids, does it make sense to move Pereira out and start 5 mids every week? Which I don't think is bad, honestly. Like, I wouldn't put him ahead of, Mitoma or something. But yeah, on pens, if they keep getting pens, I mean, he's never missed in his career. He's taken 5. It's better than Mitro.
Yeah, I mean, starting 5 mid, sure. I mean, but Pereira, I guess the bigger issue to that is that who are you enabling? Like, all these other players fucking suck ass.
I know. Oh, that's been the problem all year.
Yeah, like there's no good defenders that are expensive. There's, Kev, Holland, Kane, and then there's no one else. Like, you can easily have them and not Pereira starting, kind of thing.
I mean, it might be someone like Bruno, who I continue to think is not really value, and his goal obviously shouldn't have stood if you have eyes. But on the other hand, they have at Arsenal next week. Horrible fixture, one of the worst in the league. And then they're home Palace, at Leeds, home Leicester, home Brentford, at Liverpool, home Southampton, at Brighton, before they have their next defense who can prevent goals, which is at Newcastle. So as much as he's not earning 9-8 or whatever the fuck he is now, it's like,
you don't need to be in this environment.
Yeah, we don't need
not
money.
In this economy.
Not in this fucking economy.
Baby.
Yeah, if you can just start Mitoma every week and don't need a forward not named Evan Ferguson, then like, who cares?
Yeah, that's
you need to get the points.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Mitrovic without pens is just like not a very good pick. Is that it?
Yeah.
End of statement.
That's it for Fulham.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. He's fine. He's not a problem, I don't think. He's still fine, but he's worse. Let's talk about Brighton, because speaking of Mitoma, we got a bunch of questions about guys, to bring in. I think they have a good run right now. Don't have it open, but Son at Jeff, Hemdog, Al, all asking what Brighton players do we want? What's the ideal triple up, etc. Hemdog, who do you fancy in the battle of Solly, Mac, and Mitoma? I mean, Evan Ferguson's got to, put his hat in the ring for sure, even though Welbs is back. But they're so cheap and they're so goddamn good. I mean, I feel like the thing that I was a little bitter about after, I got Mitoma, got his points, whatever, is like, I fucking knew this team was good. And I started Game Week 17 with Trossard. And he just like, got into a fight with the manager and isn't fit and got fucked. But they score so many goals. No teams come close to their goal output since the break.
Yeah. Yeah, and their run is at Leicester, home Bournemouth, at Palace, home Fulham, next 4. At joke. Newcastle, home Western, at Leeds, home Man United. A little tougher 4 after that.
They have 2 bad fixtures up until game week 30. And they still have 2 they still have at Bournemouth and home Palace not even scheduled yet. So they're going to have amazing doubles whenever those happen, too.
Yeah, I mean, Mitoma certainly is top of the list for me. I don't think it's particularly close. he's just their best player.
He's so good.
McAllister's more interesting if he is pushing up a little bit further forward. I mean, we got the allusions to that happening, and then he didn't against Liverpool.
Yeah.
With Pens, and if he is playing more 8 than 6, you can certainly like that as a pick. March, I couldn't be further convinced from anything in my life than Solly March. Like, this is Almiron. Exactly what this is like. He's going on his Almiron run, and he's going to turn back into just missing because he's terrible, and he has,
Let me interrupt you with X50. He said, Walsh described Almiron as one of the worst players in the league, and then he became a god. Walsh tore into March only a few episodes ago, and now he's on a hot streak in FPL. Does Walsh have any other players he hates / thinks are bad so that we can hop on them early as a sort of reverse balls pick? Love you, Walsh. I mean, it's like unreal how he has 44 points in like 4 game weeks. He just scores every week. And here we are. I mean,
it's miraculous. It is a miraculous event. He will turn back into a pumpkin soon, but I don't imagine people bringing him in, but if they are, that's fine.
I'm sure they are, yeah.
Yeah. And then, Ferguson is, Welbs is still there, and he also looked like an actual.
His goal was so sick.
He was unreal. So good in his sub appearance, and Ferguson is still like 10 years old. Yeah. So I don't think he's someone you should be buying and starting or anything like that. Like, if he's someone you're getting to enable just because he's better than fucking the lead guy
Sam
who everyone
Greenwood.
has.
Yeah,
like fine, but that's not like an actual pick, I don't think.
Yeah.
So in short, it's kind of confusing. And right, the Grobbing is not on Pens and playing wing back. So that's
right
not
back. Yeah,
that's not a pick either. So, and they don't defend. So there's like one pick on the team, 1.5. I think maybe McAllister's like a half a pick, but I just don't see much here. Honestly, it's kind of annoying because they are good.
Yeah, like McAllister in another season, you look at 5-4 and Pens in the team, and you can talk yourself into it, but there's no spot for him. There's no world where you're starting both Mitoma and McAllister every week, over like multiple other mids who are phenomenal, like the Arsenal mids and Rashford and shit. And March, if people want to go there, it's literally the exact same thing as Pereira. I feel like it's like out of nowhere, he's putting up crazy numbers and scoring goals. I don't think it's going to last, but hey, people got the fucking. Oh, I said Pereira, I meant Miggy. People got the Miggy points, and now they're just selling him. So like, joke's on us, right? Like they're 90 points better off than we are, and all they had to endure was like 3 blanks, and now they're selling them. So like,
but we have our principles and our integrity.
We have our principles, but that's what the bandwagon players do. That's why we suck, because you should probably just get him because form is a real thing, and right now he's taking 1 million shots and getting goals. And if that continues, great. And if he blanks for like 2 or 3 in a row, you just get rid of him. So, I totally get it. Is what it is. But yeah, Mitoma is actually like unbelievable and wrote his thesis on dribbling.
Yeah, he's good. Very good player.
Very good.
Are you with me about I know you have the perv, but are you with me on defense not really being a look?
Oh, yeah. I like him as a player, and I kind of fell into that trap because he is good. But they are not a clean sheet shout in like really any game. I don't think they're. Obviously they just cleaned Liverpool, but that was a fucked up team. But yeah,
your transfer is the perv to my guy Danny B, right?
I haven't thought about it yet, but that could be my move. Yeah. Is there a world where maybe there is a world where the fixtures are that good that they just do start cleaning teams because they just utterly dominate all of these teams. I don't think that's possible.
Keep 0. Yeah, they're not going to keep 0. They do have Bournemouth at home, which is like fucking ridiculous right now.
It's like that's a free clean. It's actually just predetermined clean,
Yeah, but it's still to me is the nature of the football they play is just so conducive to conceding. High line with no compactness. It's just that's going to concede. And Bob Monster looks worse than he ever has. So
I think
that they're just going to concede
less than 1 XG. They've only done that twice, and one was home Spurs, and the other was home NFO. Every other game, they're 1 XG up to 2.9 XG against Arsenal. Like, they are open as fuck.
Yeah.
It's not great. Yeah, I don't really trust it. Mostly we just got other like questions all over the place kind of style, unless there's like a specific game you want to talk about, or should we just dive into these?
I really wanted to talk about Wolves and Villa, actually, kind of with like the new managers and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is kind of something that we take a while on when we need to not on snapping ourselves into like what the team is now when we look at them as a fixture on the fixture table,
right?
Or just looking at their players and like are their picks on the team, right? I mean, these two teams could not be more different than the two teams under the previous managers. I feel like they're both.
Villa got dominated
for a while. I mean, that game was a weird one, but every Leeds game is weird. Every Leeds game
that's true. Leeds games are just
yeah. I don't even know how to evaluate them, but there were also spells in that game where Leeds were just out of control, and I mean, they lost, so they won the game.
Of course.
But yeah, they were getting battered for like 45 minutes for at least. But like with Wolves, I mean, Wolves are just fucking good. Like Wolves are just a good team right now to me, and I think they're going to just continue to win games and climb up the table. Their squad is fucing really good.
Yeah, and they keep making really good little purchases too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with Lopetegui there is just, they're going to just continue, I feel like, to just win games. And
yeah.
And they're just good. I think they're just really good, and they're going to keep winning. And like, to me, like Wolves is something I'm like really excited for next season. Like I want to try and buy, I want to I want to try and buy them. Yeah. Or a couple players maybe. I mean, the guy Cunha looks fucking interesting. They're just making good purchases. And, Sarabia coming in will be really fun. Yep. They all of a sudden just have a lot of good shit going on with like a really good depth, good backups at all spots, good manager. Like everything looks good. I mean, they need a new goalkeeper. I mean, they obviously have some things they need to address, but yeah, I mean, Wolves are good. I just feel like they're good. Like they're not a bad team anymore, like they have been, and we just need to update that with ourselves.
No, it's important. Yeah, because I think people would still look at a fixture list and be like, oh, they're, at Wolves, that's banker, whatever. And it's just like not the case. It's going to be a really tough game. It seems like in all these games. I mean, fucking Bueno, who everyone has like last on their bench every week, has two cleans and 4. And he's putting he's like crossing the ball like 6 times a fucking game, like he's just good. They found this little kid and he's good.
Yeah. I was pissed I had him behind Pereira on my bench. I didn't think too much about it. I wish I did.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Villa, right? I mean,
yeah.
They also have like a good squad. I mean, they have good players. Like their games should be more 50-50-ish games. I mean, I know missing Dean and missing Cat. I mean, the new left back that came in, Moreno, was actually pretty interesting.
I thought he was really exciting.
Yeah, he did a couple of stupid ass shit, but he was good. Yeah,
first game.
Watkins out could be an issue, but just generally speaking, I mean, this was a team that was underperforming their squad when the whole time that Stevie G was there, and now they're just playing better. And they're just a solid team, I mean, they're just a solid
Bailey's
mid-table.
Legit.
Yeah, Bailey's great playing striker. Like he's just really good. He's an actual FPL pick, but just also in general for the team, Villa's just a good team. I mean, they're not going to get destroyed. I just wanted to talk about them because I feel like those are some teams that we don't, spend too much time on.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah. They'll have like interesting fixtures because they have. They have fucking at Southampton, home Leicester, then they have at City, home Arsenal. So fuck off.
Too good, too bad.
Yeah, and then they have at Everton, home Palace, at West Ham, home Bournemouth, at Chelsea, home NFO. Really good. I mean, just really, really good. So like, people who have Villa players, you're happily starting them for the next 2, benching them for the 2 following that, and then you can start them pretty comfortably.
I just feel like the fixtures are so fucking weird right now. Like, I don't think there's ever been anything like this since I've been playing FPL. Just of the teams, like they're just, I feel like they're like no good defenses. Like they're a lot of teams that just attack. Like every fixture seems kind of good, you know. Other than Newcastle defense, like even City, I'm like, well, City fucking let up shit on the counter. It's you know, I mean, even Arsenal, like, you know, they control games, but they also, you know, they let goals up and shit. It's just I feel like when I look at any team, like in general, unless if they have something like, you know, City, Arsenal, Newcastle in a tight window, I'm just like they're all good. Like every time I look at a team fixtures, I just feel like they have good fixtures. They have good fixtures. Or, you know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that was Mishka's question. He said, like, which of the bottom 6 teams do we target for the next 6 game weeks? So just like, you know, short-ish term. And bottom 6 somehow doesn't include NFO and Palace. He added to that, which are, you know, Palace is probably one of the teams where I'm looking at, if my player's playing that team, I'm like, that's good for me. Even though they played pretty well against Chelsea.
We're a mess. Yeah, I mean, Palace targetable for sure.
Yeah.
Bournemouth, very targetable.
Everton is a joke.
Everton are a joke. Leicester are a joke right now. Leicester very targetable.
Leeds also, I mean, attack.
Fulham, I feel like are not somehow have like gotten themselves out of this category. I don't know. Like they haven't been conceding a lot of goals.
I still think it's a really good attacking fixture,
but they haven't been conceding a lot since the break.
I guess not. Have they not?
No.
I'm looking, but yeah, I mean Newcastle like should have scored more. Chelsea were down to 10 men for, you know, 50 minutes or something. And
Southampton probably targetable.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck to make of them, speaking of new managers. I mean, they did not like play well against Everton. That was like a very even game where Everton like easily could have won that. And a JWP Worldy, you know, as usual, Worldy free kick, you know, gets them the 3 points and everyone's feeling really happy. And Nathan Jones has the fucking hand tattoo, Michelangelo hand tattoo on across his back, and everyone's feeling good. But I don't know if they're good. Like, I don't really think they're good.
Who thinks they're good? Who said that?
No, no one says that. I just feel like the vibes are good, and I'm like,
because they won a game.
Should they be? Yeah,
no, they suck.
They beat Man City in the cup and beat the maybe worst team in the league in Everton, and everyone's like, "Oh, Nathan Jones, like, let's go."
No,
I'm like,
that's bullshit, dude. They fucking suck, and they will continue to lose games. I mean, they went behind in this game. Everton are just worse. This is they're a bad team. They're too young. They're playing different tactics every half, and they're a mess. I do love Orsic though.
Liverpool, another targetable team. Oh my god! If my attackers playing Liverpool,
I know
I'm in.
I know, but it's just that is an insane thing.
It is.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, and like West Ham,
I'm just adjusting. You know,
like what do we do with West Ham? They're in the relegation zone right now. Like usually they're just like a weird, tough place to go and shit. Like, it's just like how many teams in the league right now are you like, oh, like that's like kind of a rough fixture? There's like 5 or 6 of 20.
Rough fixture?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like City, like Arsenal, Newcastle, Brighton,
Man United, maybe.
Man United.
No, but not Brighton. Brighton's they concede all the time.
Right. It depends if you're talking about like attack or defense.
I meant defensively. Like
defensively.
When you're seeing an attacking fixture, you're like, oh, like that's not great.
Yeah,
I mean,
it would be those 4 then. It'd be Man City, Arsenal, Newcastle, Man United. That's it.
Even like because like Liverpool, like Chelsea aren't there. Like it's just like teams that are historically there are not there, and it's just such a strange thing looking at the fixtures to me. I
agree with that. Yeah. And it's West Ham are the most anomaly of all this group because their numbers are still good. Their underlyings are good.
Really?
Like, yeah. And they're just like doing badly. But yeah, I mean, the rest of the teams are what the numbers say they are, basically, you know? Yeah. And we've talked about it before, but I spent the entire first half of the season before the World Cup trying to bet Bournemouth to get relegated, and the bookies are just like, no, we know they're getting relegated. We're not giving you a number. And like they kept winning games, and the number just never changed. And now they're just like, oh yeah, this is
now they haven't scored a goal since football started.
They haven't done a thing. Yeah, they haven't done one good thing in a long time.
Yeah, they don't look good.
But yeah, those are the targetables, I guess. Yeah, what do you think of the North London Derby? Speaking of like Arsenal and Spurs,
well, I missed a lot of it. I didn't watch.
Oh
the whole thing.
Swimming class.
Yeah, I only watched a little bit of it. What'd you think of it? I mean, I watch highlights, but you can't get too much.
Yeah, I mean, it it was a really fun, entertaining game, to say, first of all. Like, I had a blast watching it. I mean, first half, I think people were going nuts at how good Arsenal are and how much of a fucking fuckfest it was. And I don't think they were wrong at all. I think first half was just like, oh my God, the gap between these two teams is gigantic and Arsenal are walking the league and this is a joke. And then I thought second half Spurs were actually like very good. Like, obviously they didn't score, but it took Rammers making like incredible saves, which we know he's very inconsistent. So like on another day that doesn't happen and Spurs could score 3 that half. Like, it was weird because Kane blanks, Spurs don't score. And people on Discord were like, how is Kane? And I was like, he was inches away from a triple return. Actually inches. Like, creating multiple huge chances, getting chances. Like, you know, so it was a weird one where I was actually like pretty impressed with Spurs on the second half. Pretty like, wobbly from Arsenal in that second half. Like, that was a bad second half when they're 2-0 up. Like, they should have been able to like close that game out and control it. And they just like lost control. But it was really fun. It was a good one. Yeah. And Arsenal are fucking 8 points clear. Insane.
Yeah, I mean, it must be said. The game was played at the Spud innings. So, I mean, to go over there and 2-0 it, I mean, they're not going to dominate for 90, but even to do it for 45 is ridiculous.
For 45
like, that shouldn't happen. And
everyone was rightfully throwing Conte and Spurs like completely under the fucking shit bus at halftime. Like, absolutely rightly so. But I do think that people are sort of forgetting that the second half happened in that kind of way because Spurs didn't score, no one scored, and it was just a 2-0. But like the second half did happen, and the Spurs like were good and should have scored, and Arsenal like couldn't control them.
I mean, I see what you mean. The thing with Spurs is still difficult for me. It's just, it's not like fun watching them play like this style.
Oh yeah,
like every game, it's just all their players are in their own half all game, the whole game. I mean, they did press a little bit in the beginning. I mean, they have these little moments where they do it for 5 or 10 minutes or something. But when you just like watching them continually play, where it's like the game happens to them mostly.
Yeah.
It's just I mean, I get it from a point standpoint. That's it's really difficult to break you down and you get the counterattacking opportunities and those are the big chances. Like, I get all that fine, but just watching, when you play a team like Arsenal and you only play one way, it's just, you get, from watching you get the feeling like, oh yeah, one team is clearly better than the other.
Yeah, for sure.
It seems like that sort of played out, right?
And Son is just,
what's up?
Like, to say Son fell off the cliff, I think is like the understatement of the year. Like, He's
lost.
Their worst attacker by a lot. Like,
and they only played 2 of them, so that's a problem.
They played 2. Like, the thing that happened a lot in the second half was like they were going up the right side instead of the left side, and it was like Doc Kulu show in terms of like ball progression and creating chances and 1-2ing with Kane and whatnot. And the less that Son is involved in the game, the better Spurs are. That's just how it is right now. And I don't know what's up with him, but whatever. But like, he shouldn't start for them. He just shouldn't start.
Yeah,
Rich is back fit.
Kulu and Kane.
100 million %. Yeah. Like, that's just
Definitely.
Their best front 3, no question.
I agree.
I don't know if he's going to do it, but like, it's fucked up watching him. It's really weird.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah.
Granberger said, "What's your ideal Arsenal triple up?"
All attackers.
No defender?
No, I don't think so.
I guess you don't need to in this economy because Newcastle exists.
Yeah, I think it's Saka, and Necktie.
Yeah,
would be what I would go.
And
with.
People still have Martinelli, and he's still good. I wouldn't transfer him. He's still good.
Yeah, no, but if it's ideal, I think I would prefer those 3.
That's fair.
What about you?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I mean, on Wildcard, I could see a world where I'm like getting in Ben White or something like that. He's still ridiculously good value. He's still 4-7. Yeah.
Zinchenko.
But yeah, I mean, the attackers, especially Odegaard, they're just ridiculously good. Ridiculously good.
I'm worried about the minute I get Odegaard in that he's just going to stop getting points because that's what happens when I play this game.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you should, before you get him in, you should talk shit about how he's one of the worst players in the league. Reverse jinx him in.
I'm not going to do that.
I mean, just for the reverse jinx, people will know.
Come on, dog.
Let's do some questions here.
What about Necktie, though, picking up where Jesus left off? I mean, what the fuck?
I mean, he should have
goals.
He should have braced, but he's great. He's fucking great. He's so good. He's actually
he's great. He's really great. Good. Like Jesus is great.
Yeah, very similar.
And then you sit there with the Maxwell.
Fucking hell.
Oh, not the you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, let's do some of these. Sun is Miggy's purple patch over, blah, blah, blah. Could it be time to switch to someone like Matoma, March, JWP, Wissa? Camia, you said you had talked about keeping Miggy on a short leash. Have you seen enough to warrant keeping him, or should we move on? So, yeah, I mean...
Wissa starting was interesting. He played the three of them.
It was weird, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that could just be we're playing Bournemouth at home, so we don't need to have defenders, which I kind of am thinking, but I feel like Wissa's still not a pick until...
I don't think he's a pick.
Tony... Yeah, because he shouldn't be starting. But no, yeah, I mean, Miggy's done, right? We were done with this.
Yeah. I mean, numbers fell off a cliff. He's shooting from outside of the box. He's just... I'm done. And Matoma is just such a great swap with great fixtures to a way more high-scoring, high-flying attack. It's great.
I mean, Brighton's attack is so good. Matoma is such a good pick.
So fucking good.
He was...
Yeah, it can't be...
I don't see Trent getting fucked that hard that often.
Yeah, you know what's funny is
destroying him.
Trent has actually been one of our best defenders for a while. No one talks about it, but he's just been doing a good job because he hasn't been pushing forward because I don't know, the whole team's fucked up. But oh my god, the Estupiñán Matoma side could just do whatever they wanted. Matip was
I know, he's on skates. He didn't know it was too much.
It's unfair to him. This little guy can just dribble through fucking rings, and Matip's 10 feet tall, sprinting back. Oh my god, everywhere. I felt so bad for him. Limbs everywhere. Just oh my god.
I mean, Trent gets so much shit for his defense, and we don't give it to him. But typically when he's one-on-one with players dribbling, he's great in those scenarios.
Yeah, he's good.
And he could not have been getting rinsed hardly and more and more time. It was just, I felt bad for him. And they weren't doing anything differently. They didn't make any adjustments. He didn't get any help. It was just
there's no midfielder and just Matip in his zip code and they just couldn't do shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So Matoma, great pick.
Brighton's goals since the break are 3-2-4-3.
Yeah. Arsenal, Southampton, Everton, Liverpool.
Putting up monster XG also.
Yeah.
Not just scoring, not just bangers. It's unreal. Yeah, they're so fucking good, man.
Brighton in.
It's so weird to be talking about how good they are and then be there's one pick on the team.
I know, dude, but that's what it is.
It's just kind of reality. I don't know. I need to look at their numbers more or something and try and figure out if there's someone that I'm missing or something like that. Which everyone in Discord will be you're missing March, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, I think it's still McAllister. I think because I think you have the promise of potentially with some games where he does get a little bit further forward. But
is that a thing? I feel like I haven't seen that.
He said it. He said that.
Oh, he said it. Oh, that's why people are talking about. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I missed the words that he said.
He said it, and he didn't do it.
It could be Welbs.
He's not even starting, dude.
I know. I assume he will be starting, but not yet. But yeah, I don't know. Numbers wise, I don't know. But General Taylor said another good attacking team. What are your thoughts on Nanto as a cheap third forward? So Leeds also mental attack.
It's I I mean, he's obviously so good. Like, watching him play is lovely. He's incredible. It's just still like a lightweight kind of pick to me because he doesn't shoot in very good positions. Like, he relies on, I think, just like very unbankable things happening to get points at this point.
Yep.
I'm more interested in Bamford. I mean, I'm fucking obsessed with Bamford.
You're obsessed with Bamford.
Much. But I mean, he's back. And that's the biggest bad for thing. Rodrigo.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah. Because if he starts starting, Rodrigo becomes maybe not a pick.
Yeah.
And Bamford does become a pick. But Bamford also has barely gotten past like 20 minutes in any game this season. So Rodrigo may remain a pick. We'll see.
Yeah. I love Bamford so much. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but if you're getting some cheap forward because you just want someone on the bench, okay. But if you're looking at a start every week kind of player or someone to rotate, I don't think he's gonna.
I genuinely would rather start Solanke, assuming he gets fit and plays. I genuinely would, even though Bournemouth are absolutely awful. And Nanto just like isn't a goal. Like you said, I just agree. I'm just saying what you just said is like, he's not going to score goals. He just kind of like puts in crosses. He like dribbles by guys, puts in crosses, hopes someone's there. Like, he's an assist guy. And, Dom actually is on pens and could score goals and stuff. I don't know. But
yeah, I mean, we don't know really still what Nanto is, but he might, maybe he starts playing more inside or something and something changes. But I mean, a player playing in his position and his role, like, best case over a season is like 4 goals, like 9 assists or something, which is, great for a fight, but that's like best case, I think. And, we're just seeing him. I think we just should watch him and enjoy watching him, but I don't think you should get him in your team.
Leeds have home Brentford, at NFO, home United, at Everton, home Southampton, next 5.
Yeah.
So there is, that those are insane. Like, home Man United's obviously not good, but the other 4 are ridiculously good.
Home Brandham?
I think it's good. Maybe not ridiculously good, but that's the worst of the other ones.
For NFO?
Yeah, that's still fucking good. Are you kidding
me? What are Leeds up to? I don't know.
You're the one who said like they don't really have bad fixtures, and I kind of agree, right? It's like even their bad ones, they fucking all out attack and score goals.
Yeah, no, you're right. I know.
So like they turn a medium fixture into a good one attack-wise, but I just don't know who to buy because, I mean, the obvious guy is Rodrigo, right? But, like, as soon as he starts behind Bamford, you're like, kill myself. I don't want this player anymore. So then who do you get? The biggest kill
myself on this team is Jack Harrison. I don't understand how he keeps playing.
Oh, here's that X50s guy for, this is the next guy who's going to pop off.
Jack Harrison.
Fuck off, awful. Jack Harrison.
Fucking die. It's so annoying that he's still there. He takes minutes from someone who could be... I mean, if Sinisterra was fit, he probably wouldn't play. But he fucking plays. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I mean, Sinisterra and Somerville are hurt, and Bamford, so... I think Marsh knows, but, like, it's...
And, like,
he killed all their attacks.
He's terrible. He's just terrible. He's been consistently bad. He keeps playing. So
put a unit on a Jack Harrison hat trick this weekend is basically what I'm trying to say.
There you go.
Here's one for you. Catfink said, should people with Wardverson be looking for alternatives? All the cheap goalkeepers kind of suck, so I'm not even sure where to go. Jeff said, while we're talking about Ursons, do we fuck off Ederson or just chill because keepers are dumb?
Yeah. I mean, I am not making this mistake again. I will not sell Ward for the rest of the season. You can clip this. I am never selling this player unless if they get a guy in January and he's not starting. Yes. He is my starting keeper until the stupid fucking ass fuck game is over at the end of the season. It's Joel Ward, brother, Danny. I don't give a fuck what happens. Last time I did this, he scored 70 points in 8 weeks, and I had Pope, who on the best defense in the league got no points, no cleans, no points. I'm not doing that again. I'm keeping Dan Ward for the rest of the season, period.
Which is a roundabout way of saying I agree with you, Jeff. Keepers are fucking dumb. Don't use your free transfers and keepers ever. wait until your second wild card if you ever want to change your keeper. Just don't even fucking think about it. That's how I feel about your problems with keeper.
Dude, I wish how you do the thing at the end of the season where it's like the points per position. My goalkeeper, it must be under 2. It has to be under 2.
Can we go through your team and just see week to week? Is that doable? So this week's
that would take so long.
Last week's a 2. No, this takes 2 seconds. Week before that's a 3, 1, 5, 3, 6. Okay, Pope. 2, 6, 6. Pope got you some points, dude. 2, 2, 2. Okay, Queen died. 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Wow.
So I got 2 6s, a 5.
You got like
and
2
blanks.
Pope cleans, and everyone else is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ward, you went Ward to Rammers to Pope to Ward. Doesn't get better than that.
I'm so bad at this fucking game, dude. It's terrible. Oh my god.
So Mishka asked the question that I was kind of hinting towards earlier with the Bruno talk, which is, with Rash and Bruno, do we just hold them for another wraparound game with Palace in 2 weeks, or begin shifting one or both assets because they play Arsenal this week? So
getting rid of Rashford is insane.
Yeah, not an option.
Not an option. He scored every fucking game since the thing happened.
Yep.
So that's that.
That's that.
Bruno is still very divisive, I think.
I agree. I don't think he is value, but I don't think the best teams spend all the money. It's like the short answer for that. And I do mostly agree. My whole plan this whole time was to get rid of Bruno, and then the double happened. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm keeping him. And now it's just, now they really only have one bad fixture for their next like 8 or so, which is at Arsenal this week. And then it's like,
I just feel like both Saka and Odegaard are way better than him.
I agree with that.
So holding him doesn't make much sense unless if it's a situation where you have other fires to put out. But I mean, if you're looking at your team, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask you, like, which is another kind of interesting thing, which is like, if I were to get rid of him or Kev, which one do you think is better to get rid of? Kev being 2.5 million more.
Well, I don't think the money really matters, right? We've been talking about that. I just feel like Kev is by a million miles a better pick, even though they have been slow and wobbly.
The money does matter, though, if I want to, like, let's say, bring in 2 Arsenal mids or something like that.
Well, if that's what it comes down to, then it's a different conversation. But I think just in general, I feel more comfortable holding Kev than Bruno.
Me too.
Especially when we're talking about Bruno potentially being off pens. I mean, he's been ticking along and returning, pretty much each game since the break. But, you know, he shouldn't be. I mean, just watching him play and everything we've been talking about, we did the scouting with him and shit like that.
Yeah.
We were pretty uniform, us and Nate, talking like he's just not really a good pick. And I just still don't feel very confident in their consistency of just battering, creating chances, doing all the things like we do with like Arsenal. So, I just feel like that's an easy swap that would free up a lot of, money for,
I agree.
I agree with nothing else, that. I guess. So I guess then it's just in what world is, like, what team is holding Bruno? Like, you have to have a couple of other big issues. Like, I mean, Mo, I guess, is an issue? I don't know.
The world would be like if you are in a 3-5-2 and you have Rashford, 2 Arsenal mids, Bruno, and Kev.
Mo. You have to have Mo in this team.
Why? What do you mean?
Because he's a problem.
Oh. Wait, what?
Because he's a bigger. I'd rather have fucking Bruno than Mo right now.
I didn't understand what you meant. I just meant like in my team, I could be starting like Matoma, Rashford, Bruno, and 2 Arsenal mids potentially. You know, if I did a Kev Pereira out for 2 Arsenal mids is like amazing.
Yeah. So given that team specific nature, perhaps that's the thing to do. But
yeah, I mean, I agree with you though on Kev versus Bruno. I mean, City are still putting up monster XG. Except for the Man United game, basically their attack is still very, very good. And they're maybe not the best team in the league for once, but they're the second best team in the league. So, still good. Yeah, Ben and Bolter asking about triple Newcastle D. Yeah. Good. Bills, would you bench a United or Arsenal defender in favor of a Newcastle defender this week? Obviously, yes. I don't even know who they're playing. What kind of fucking question is that? Newcastle are at Palace, and Arsenal and Man United play each other. Fred said, should we prioritize bringing in White or Burn/Botman? Is there an argument to leave Arsenal spots free for their attack? Yeah, we talked about that. We talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
D-Beck said JWP played a more advanced role. Fixture's still okay. Is he an option? No, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I think he's an option. I mean,
yeah, there are worse picks in the game.
Yeah, I mean, we've historically talked about JWP being a pick. I mean, he has 4 goals since the break.
That's true. Actually, I didn't realize
that's a lot of goals. I mean,
Jesus
I was
Christ,
actually looking at him a little bit before the Everton game.
I didn't realize that.
I didn't do it. Yeah, but no, I mean, because I was looking at this like weird 6 mid bracket, and I was just looking at him a little bit last week. He's always a pick. Like even when he goes on 2-month-long blanks, like he still has the set pieces. He has all the things. So
Pens.
At the end of the season, he's gonna get his. He's gonna eat. Like he has 7 returns right now. Last year, I mean, he's like halfway there. Basically.
Last 2 years, he got 15 returns. Yeah, he's halfway there. He's right on track.
He'll probably get right around there and hit 150 again. So it's just a matter of if you get lucky. If you just get lucky with having him when he does the things. But he's always an option.
Yeah, you're right. I blew that one. Mark said, I'm considering Kev and Mo to Odegaard in March. Feels bonkers. I mean, what is this world? It's so good.
That's a Keck W right there.
It's so good.
That is insane.
Yeah. And then
I didn't understand for a few seconds there when you said it out. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I mean
30 millions for 8 millions.
Yeah. Like, okay. And then here's another one to laugh at. Mishka's asking, is it crazy to punt on Salah? And what to do with Darwin? I mean, dude. Darwin's hurt, so we don't need to talk about that. But like, there is no world where a Liverpool player is coming in my team. That world just does not exist.
I might need a wild card here. I have so many things going on here. I don't know what to do.
I mean, it shouldn't not be an option. Yeah, I mean, pull the trigger, make a new team. It seems like there's quite a few teams that we both like right now that are also having good runs right now, and you have like none of them.
Yeah. The biggest issue, though, for me is if I wildcarded, I can't pick Zhao because he's fucking banned.
Well, you could just hide him.
Oh, my God. I could hide him.
Dude, start fucking Matoma. Start fucking Pereira. And start Evan Ferguson. Like, there's so many cheap guys.
Well, I didn't think of that. All right. I might have to play around later.
Yeah, have some fun.
If I wildcarded, should I or should I not keep the Harvening?
Obviously not, but it's going to be really painful when he braces next week.
He has me in the vice grip with my balls.
Yeah, no, obviously not a good pick, Harvey Barnes. Lester, what is that? Can't wait for the Braj documentary in 5 years. Just what is he and what are they? I don't know. Oh, Woot's in the game at $6 million also. Yeah, maybe he'll make your wildcard team too.
No, come on. I hate him, dude. I hate him.
And then the last 2 questions are actually about captaincy, which we haven't talked about since like game week 3.
Yeah.
Capfing said, talk to me about not capping Haaland this week. City aren't clicking. Wolves are good. I think captaining Kane, Trips, or maybe even Tony or Odegaard's defendable but terrifying. And then Jitterbug said, is it time to stop auto cap Haaland? I saw a stat that City have 1 less point than Liverpool in the last 10 games. Something's not right there. We have Arsenal on fire. Trips gets 8 to 9 points every week. Brighton score 3+ a game, but we're also paralyzed by fear that Haaland will suddenly hat trick. We ignore what our eyes are telling us and just do the sensible thing and miss out on hauls. Also, if Haaland looks bad versus Spurs, we can't rule out a random Alvarez start as there's only 2 days off before game week 21 for City. Which I also didn't realize, by the way. But I mean, they play a fucking Thursday night game
Yeah.
And then they play, Sunday morning game or whatever. So
yeah.
Yeah, where are we on, Haaland and Cap and whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's especially for this week. I think it's totally fine to captain someone else. But I mean, the 2 days off is a thing. Yes, they have been misfiring. It's difficult to talk about this before watching them play Spurs because you could easily bang a hat against them.
Yeah, and then we're like, nah, we should probably just cap him. Yeah,
I think though too, it is a little bit. I think this is a lot of recency bias with the Man United game, and it was an odd one, and they always are. But, I mean, he looked fine against Chelsea. Could have scored the game before, brace the game before. I mean, this is still a player who's getting brace-ish worth of chances, and the whole team is pointed towards him in the box.
Yep.
So I still think he's the best captain in general. But, if there's a spot to pick where you want to try something different, I think the Wolves game is probably one of them.
Yeah, I think it's
kind
okay.
of how I'm seeing it.
But who do you feel? The thing is that I'm having trouble is who do you feel confident with, right? Because Arsenal are home Man United, so I'm not going to cap an Arsenal player. Spurs, I mean, Kane is obviously capable, and I think Fulham are still bottom 2 defense in the league, so you could go there. But it's not like Spurs are good, Spurs play 30 minutes of football in every 90-minute game, So Kane could haul, but he could not. And then, who are you down to,
Mudryk.
So, who?
Mudryk.
Oh, fucking. I mean, if he plays, he'll probably score against Liverpool. I mean.
Yeah, let's go.
Everyone in our gambling channel knows you bet against the team. You bet on the team playing Liverpool to score first, and you bet on the team that's playing Spurs to score first, and you just make tons of money every week. But
profit. Yeah, I think Trips
I just don't think there's an
option.
Great one. Yeah, Trips. Yeah.
I think but it's got to be Kane. I mean, I think it probably is that question, Haaland versus Kane. I mean, I'm still probably going to just keep it on Haaland. But
yeah, I mean, and again, I talked about it earlier. That second half versus Arsenal, he legit could have triple returned, and I'm really not exaggerating. He was that good that half. But I still am if I'm getting, no matter how good Kane is, if I'm getting 45 minutes of him instead of 90 of him because Spurs are so fucking bad and negative, it's still tough. It's tough to return in 45 minutes, whereas Haaland gets 90.
Yeah. But it is at least starting to be a question, which is fun.
Yes. Yeah. Very fun. Very fun.
Yeah.
And who knows what? There's still so many matches unscheduled. We could just get random doubles thrown in. I think basically any game week there's space. So that'll also change the picture where it's City maybe don't have a great one, and then some other team who's pretty good has a double. You might start going there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's just I just don't love capping a Trips. I know he's the best player of all time, but I just don't like a 9-ish point ceiling. Yeah. Where Haaland could legitimately hat-trick against any team in the league.
Yeah.
Just personal pref. So what are you looking at with your team? Do you think you're actually going to wildcard?
No, I didn't think about it until we started potting, just because it's Son should be on the bench. Mo, I saw Mo. Yeah. Harvey Barnes doesn't know how to do anything. Solanke.
Your team's
I've
bad.
had 2 frees. I keep my team's been bad, and I keep rolling transfers.
I was about to say, did you not know your team's bad? Is that a thing you weren't aware of?
Well, now I do, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Your team's really fucking bad.
Yeah, it's really bad. So I might do it. But
okay.
I probably won't.
Okay.
But I mean, realistically, with 2 frees, I mean, I just have to do Son and Mo to Matoma in March. I'm fine. But
that's great.
12 million in the bank.
Yeah, that's the way to play the game this year.
That's profit.
Yeah, and Solanke to Kane and Cap Kane, easy.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. Who knows?
Yeah,
I'll fucking push some buttons. I mean, I'm definitely going to have the João Felix Mudryk double up soon. That will happen. I just don't know how soon. That's the thing.
Yeah. That's the thing. Okay, good. We'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know.
I think that the the burn move is good.
Burn move is definitely solid. And just go with that triple up.
Yeah.
I got to think if there's something like basically the one thing that I feel like I'm missing is Arsenal attackers. So I just need to sort of like formulate my plan to get there. Like Mitrovic will probably become Necktie. Bruno or someone will probably become like Odegaard or Saka or both. So I got to I got to plan for that and then work backwards. And I probably won't bring them in this week. Maybe I'll end up even rolling this week so I can bring in 2 of them the week after.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think you should probably figure out how to get Bruno, Mitro, and Pereira to Saka and Odegaard and not get Necktie. Because you're trying to do good this year. Like, that's what a good team has. Yeah, I want to do good.
Yeah.
Like, a good team has Kev, Rashford, Mitoma, Odegaard, Saka. That's the mid. With Kane Holland up top.
It just...
Triple, Newcastle, D, Ederson.
It just still does feel really weird to me to get rid of Bruno before home Palace, at Leeds, home Leicester, home Brentford, at Liverpool, home Southampton, at Brighton. That just feels counterintuitive.
But don't Arsenal have like the same thing?
No, I'm not saying that the Arsenal players are not better. They're no matter what their fixtures are, they're better. I'm just saying, like, it seems weird to get rid of him for him to be the guy that affords it. Like maybe it's Kane, and I end up keeping Bruno in a 5-man midfield or something. Like I don't know what it is.
You're being so fucking tarnished by this goal that should not have happened.
No, I'm not. I'm really not. I mean, he still had
I think you are.
2 returns in the 3 before that. I never expected a return in City.
But they were like silly assists. I don't know, dude. Okay, well we'll revisit. They play.
Yeah, we'll revisit. There's still double games. Yeah.
That's my advisement to you today.
No, I appreciate that.
On where your team should be in a couple weeks.
Yeah. So I'll figure that out. Go. We still have the matches. We still have Friday Night Life on Thursday, back to normal schedule, so that's good. And we have 4 new Patreon signups, 4 asses to slap. Thank you very much, guys. We got Connor, Richard, Hannon, Dimitar Saikov, and Andrew Martin. Yeah, let's get in there, baby. I think that was a pod. You got any last words?
I'll see you tomorrow. We have My Life on Thursday. It's a normal week, right?
Yeah, normal week. My Life on Thursday. Yeah, cool. See you tomorrow. Check us out at FMLFPL.com. Follow us on Twitter at FMLFPL, sportspager.com/FMLFPL. Subscribe, rate, review.